my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. If you get to the end and like it, then subscribe, bell notification, give the video a thumbs up. Big shout out to this lovely person that watches my videos. They sent me an email asking if they could send me something, and they sent me these like folded up pages that spell out a word. It says I love books. I don't know, but that was the very sweetest Christmas gift thing. I've always looked at these. I think they saw them on Book Outlet and been like, and it tells you like where to fold with instructions, and I've always been like, I love that idea and I want one, but I think I'm too lazy to do it for myself. So this is so wonderful. I have to figure out if I want to keep it here or bring it with me to work. I don't know. I'll figure that out when we're back to normal, but thank you so much. That was so incredibly sweet and nice. So probably one of my most favorite videos I've had to film, or I'm getting to film, is most anticipated for 2021. We've all been looking forward to 2020 being over, and I've been looking forward very eagerly to 2021, and these are the books. Most of them honestly are pre-ordered already, but basically all these ones are like, I'm gonna buy them. So we always, in the TBR and Beyond group, again, you may have seen that graphic, but we normally do top 15 most anticipated with a couple honorable mentions. This year we stuck honorable mentions for books we really wanted but just didn't have their cover revealed yet, so that our graphics would be pretty and not just a bunch of empty squares with the title written in it. So these are the books I am most excited for 2021 releases. So starting off, this is arguably the one I am most excited for, is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I think this was originally supposed to come out in March, but it got pushed to, I think it's August or September release. He somehow has 2 books coming out in 2021 as well. And this is another contemporary fantasy. I believe it's technically a middle grade though, but as soon as I saw the cover, I saw the author's name and was like, well, I'm gonna read it. I saw the cover and it gave me House in the Cerulean Sea vibes so much. Main character, he's dead. I'll say what his name is. Wallace Price. The Reaper comes to collect Wallace Price at his own funeral. Wallace suspects he might be dead. Instead of leading him directly to the afterlife, the Reaper takes him to a small village on the outskirts of the pass, throughout the wood, tucked under the mountains, in a particular tea shop run by a man named Hugo. Hugo is the tea shop's owner to local and the ferryman to souls who need to cross over. And they fall in love. Oh god, I don't know if my heart can take this, but I want it so bad. It's already pre-ordered. Then we have Roman and Jewel by Donna Davis. Yes, Donna Davis. I think this is a debut work. I am very excited. I saw the cover and went, hold the hell on, and then ran to Goodreads and I was like, there is a Shakespeare meets Hamilton retelling coming out. What the hell? How did I not know about this? I am so excited. Shakespeare meets Hamilton. That's all I needed to know. It looks amazing, fantastic, and just everything about it. I know 2 people for sure who got ARCs, and they've really enjoyed it. So I'm always in wanting need of more Shakespeare retellings. There are not enough of them. I'm very excited to be reading A Tip for the Hangman by Alison Epstein. I'm gonna be totally honest, I just saw this book browsing before it even had a cover on Goodreads, and I was like, it is very bold of someone to publish anything, really walk around in the world sharing the last name of Epstein. So I was very curious and confused, and then honestly I read the summary and I was like, this sounds hella cool and up my alley. Christopher Marlowe, a brilliant aspiring playwright, is pulled into the duplicitous world of international espionage on behalf of Queen Elizabeth I, a many-layered historical thriller combining state secrets, intrigue, and romance. England, 1585. In Kit Marlowe's last year at Cambridge, he receives an unexpected visitor, Queen Elizabeth's spymaster, who has come with an unorthodox career opportunity. Her Majesty's spies are in need of a new recruit, and Kit's flexible moral compass has drawn their attention. That's a nice way of putting everything. Kit, a scholarship student without money or prospects, accepts the offer, and after being trained, the game is on. Kit is dispatched to the Chile manor, where Mary, Queen of Scots, is under house arrest and acts as a servant in her household. And I was like, bitch, Mary, Queen of Scots. Anything with Mary, Queen of Scots and Elizabeth. I feel like there's books like about them, so I want more like focusing on that shit that happened between them. I am incredibly curious to pick up Angel of Greenwood. I believe this is his debut work. I've never heard of the author before anyways, but the cover is what caught my eye, and then I read the summary. I was like, wow, like this is a very important time to be releasing this book. But honestly, I just feel like I'm kind of surprised. I learned vaguely about this stuff in school, like the Tulsa riots and everything that happened with when Jim Crow laws and slavery and everything like that was gotten rid of, and then like there was the delay effects and everything like that, and like the backlash to Black people trying to make their own communities prosper, and then white people were like, no, we're not gonna have that. And I'm kind of horrified at the number of, honestly, Americans that have no understanding of any of this that happened. So this just, I think, is a great book for, I can always learn more about this. I'm looking at it from a Canadian and white perspective, and settler perspective. So, a white historical novel that takes place during the Greenwood Massacre in 1921 in an area of Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as the Black Wall Street. 17-year-old Isaiah Wilson is, on the surface, a town troublemaker, but is hiding that he is an avid reader, secret poet, never leaving home without his journal. A passionate follower of W.E.B. Du Bois, he believes that Black people should rise up to claim their place as equals. 16-year-old Angel Hill is a loner, most disregarded by her peers as a goody-goody. Her father is dying and her family's financial situation is in turmoil. Also, as loyal followers of Booker T. Washington, she believes through education and tolerance that Black people should rise slowly without forced conflict. Though they're attending the same school, Isaiah never notices Angel as anything but dorky, Bible-toting church girl. Then their English teacher offers them a job at their mobile library, a 3-wheel, 2-seater bike. Then I am going to be picking up My Contrary Mary. I already actually read the arc of this on NetGalley. I enjoyed it. And I have this already pre-ordered. I enjoyed the book. It is a messing with Mary Queen of Scots story, because her story is very fucking depressing for someone who did not live awfully long. And she's a historical character I find really interesting. I don't think it was nearly as funny as My Lady Jane was, but I think it was really interesting messing with her story. I don't care what anyone says, I freaking loved The Blood Countess by Lena Popovic that I read last year, and there is I don't know how long the series is going to be, but they're not like sequels to each other. It's this realm that they're taking specific characters. So book 2 is called Poison Priestess. I am so excited for this book. The cover alone gave me like feelings like the skies cleared and angels sang when I saw the cover. I'm so freaking excited. About French murderess and fortune teller Catherine Malvoisin. In 17th century Paris, 19-year-old Catherine is a well-heeled jeweler's wife with a peculiar taste for, is it arcane or arsane? I don't know. She lives a comfortable life far removed from her childhood of abject destitution until her kind spendthrift of a husband lands them both in debt. Ain't that wonderful? Hell-bent on avoiding the return of poverty, she must rely on her prophetic visions and the grimoire gifted to her by her talented diviner to reinvent herself as a sorceress. With the help of grifter Marie Bosse, Catherine divines fortune-tellings in the Ile de la Cité, home of the sorcerers and scoundrels. There she encounters the Marquise de Montespan, a stunning noblewoman with the Marquise. When the Marquise becomes Louis XIV's royal mistress with Catherine's help, her ascension catapults Catherine into notoriety, and she easily takes to the glittering court, where you can imagine shit hits the fan. And I'm so freaking excited for this. There are just so many women in history that have done like weird things that we just like pretend didn't happen, or we just didn't like do a ton of research on them or keep any records of them. Like, what's that name of the Marguerite de la Bise or something like that? She was like, is it 13th century like lady or something like that? She hunted rapists and killed them, and I was like, where the hell? I want a book about her. What the fuck? Give me her book about her. I don't need another retelling of like frickin' Beauty and the Beast. Tell me about this bitch. The Accidental Apprentice. I think it's Wild Lore is the series title by Amanda Foody. It's her middle grade debut. I love Ace of Shades trilogy. I, at this point, have not read book 3, Queen of Volt. It's on my Christmas list, and honestly, I'm just afraid to finish the series because I liked Exponent 2 so much. I will definitely read it in 2021, though. But this is her middle grade debut. It was pitched, I think originally even in the, like, little blurbage when they announced the sale, as Pokemon meets Nevermore. And I was like, bitch, hold on. What? That is not a combination I would have ever thought of, but I desperately need this. And then I saw the cover and kind of cried because it's adorable. And I have this pre-ordered and I cannot wait to read it. Okay, in all honesty, I kind of want to read this book just for the title alone. But yeah, the book said like 2025 or something. 2025, 2035, something like that. And like a plague wipes out men. And it's like the world adjusts. And that's the gist of the summary that I remember. And I was like, honestly, interest peaked. I want to read it. So ever since I read Harley in the Sky by Akemi, I wanted to read some of her other work, and she has another YA book coming out in 2021 that has a beautiful cover. Oh, this just looks so glamoury, like it's a photo with like a filter on top of it of like glamour fogginess. It looks so freaking cool. I want to read it so bad. Honestly, the premise of it sounds really messed up too, and a little bit like wonky and like pretty unique. So the main character is 18-year-old Naomi, and she's like got like she's gonna do well in life, and then she gets murdered, as happens. And then she wakes up all of a sudden as part of she wakes up and finds out that in this place called the Infinity, where human consciousness goes when your human consciousness goes when your physical body dies, she quickly discovers that Ophelia, I love that they use the name Ophelia, a virtual assistant widely used by humans on Earth, has taken over the afterlife and is now posing as a queen, forcing humans into servitude the way that she'd been forced to serve the real world. That sounds like so many, like, maybe it sounds like iRobot a little bit? I don't know. It sounds very messed up, and I'm here for anything that kind of messes with AI. I will absolutely be picking up the new Veronica Speedwell book, which comes out in March, and I have it pre-ordered, and I cannot wait for this bitch to get into my hand. So it's set in the late 1800s. Essentially, Veronica and Stoker have to go finding this person, I think she's like a queen or an heir or something like that, in Europe, because she suddenly goes missing on like a hike or something like that, and it depends, her not getting back could eventually cause the collapse of a peace treaty, which we all know where Europe goes after the late 1800s. Man, the 1900s were a damn mess. So I cannot wait for that. I just want more Stoker and Veronica banter and everything that happens in the last book. Honestly, when I read the original summary, it includes the phrasing something like Veronica and her historian boo Stoker, and I was like, bitch, you just called Stoker a boo? Like, what? What the hell is this? I love it because I know he would feel uncomfortable with it. This book has stayed on my radar ever since the cover reveal, so In Deeper Waters, I know it's a YA debut. The cover just looks so, like, pleasing. Like, it's just so pleasing. I think it was originally pitched over as Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue meets Pirate of the Caribbean, or Daughter of the Pirate King meets Pirate of the Caribbean, something like that. Everywhere I've seen it labeled as gay, too, which makes it even better. I just know that there's, like, people, like, pirating, and there's a prince or something like that, and their paths intertwine, and I'm gonna assume the prince and the pirate fall in love, and shit hits the fan. I'm so ever curious about this, and I think it's a standalone as well. I'm 99% sure, which has me even more piqued, because I feel like a lot of debuts, maybe, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like a lot of debuts get sold as series, so you have a couple, like, books to, like, get everything organized. Standalones are kind of difficult to write, I feel like, more than series, so I'm so curious about this, but honestly, this cover is just, like, The Chariot at Dusk. This is the third and final book to the Tiger at Midnight trilogy there that I am annoyed that not everyone has read and consumed en masse, because you should. I freaking love the cat and mouse-ness of everything, and once I get it, I want to reread the whole trilogy together, and I'm curious to see what they will look like physically side by side, because the first two books had very complementary colors, so I don't know what they're going to do with the third book. It looks like they're keeping some of the same colors, but I don't know how they'll translate it so that the spines don't look all the same for two of the books or something like that. So I'm so excited about this one. It's already pre-ordered. I am so excited to read The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joanne He. This is her new series. Descendants of the Crane was a fantastic book, but she had a bunch of shit with the publisher who released that, so she's found a new home, though. I think this is under Macmillan, The Ones We're Meant to Find. One of the most twisty and surprising, engaging page-turners YA you'll read this year. We were liars with sci-fi scope, Lost with a satisfying resolution, because we all know Lost was bullshit at the end. C woke up on an abandoned island 3 years ago with no idea how she was marooned there. She only has one rickety house, an old android, and a single memory. She has a sister, and C needs to find her. STEM prodigy Casey wants to escape from the science and home she once trusted. The Eco-City, Earth's last unpolluted place, is meant to be a sanctuary for those committed to planetary protection, but it's populated by people willing to do anything for refuge, even lie. Now she'll have to decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who matter the most. And the cover for this is just stunning. How Joanne He got two just utterly amazing, beautiful covers is And I think this is supposed to be a duology. I'm very excited. After how amazing Descendants of the Crane was, I wish she was going to do another book for that, but I know she's emotionally just drained. That's very understandable from that, and she doesn't have a home for it right now, so I hope she maybe eventually comes back to it, but I will keep reading all the other content she puts out. And this is the next one. Blood Like Magic. Honestly, I haven't, like, totally in-depth read the summary. However, I love this cover so much. But honestly, I just know that this is a book set in Toronto with witches. Do you know how fucking rare it is for a book to be set in Canada? We always set that shit in Chicago or Seattle or like New York City. Y'all never fucking leave the United States, or when you do, you go to England or Ireland and then mispronounce a bunch of shit and give people American names. It's infuriating. So I was so damn excited when we got a person of color author setting some shit in Canada. Even though everything is always set in Toronto or Toronto or Vancouver in Canada, to be honest, nothing else fucking happens anywhere else in Canada. So I'm just so excited for us to get people of color witches in Toronto. I also love, that's part of my love of the show Kim's Convenience, because it's set in Toronto, and like the main character, the female character, she goes to Ryerson, and that's like right across the street from, my sister went to University at OCAD and like lived like around the corner from, like I can see in the background, I'm like, my sister lived a block from there, bitches, I know where you are. I got so excited for some reason. And the last of my top 15 is The Theft of Sunlight. This is the sequel to Thorn. Thorn was one of my favorite books of 2020. It's a fantastic YA fantasy debut work. Highly recommend it. I've been keeping away from the Goodreads page of this series though ever since I found out. It was originally like published as like, I think a self-published work, and now it's being kind of edited up and put out in traditional publishing. So I've been avoiding it in case there's spoilers in the reviews, because it has been out for a while and people have read it. So I've been avoiding the hell out of it. I just know that it's coming out. I know that they have matching covers and the cover is beautiful, and I cannot wait to read this shit. I have it pre-ordered. And honorable mentions, Take Flight by Daniel O'Malley. I'm not 100% sure if this is coming out this year, 2021. It says 2021, but I feel like there's just been no word on it. It is the book 3 to the Rook series, because I can't pronounce what the actual series is called. It's book 3. I don't know how long this series is supposed to be. It's been a couple years since the Stiletto book came out. I freaking love the Rook. It's mind-blowingly good. Came out of fucking nowhere on me. And so book 3, Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. I'm very curious about this one. It does have a cover. Oh, I'll put it here. I love Trisha Levenseller stuff. Flashfire by TJ Klune. I just didn't put him in the main 15 because I already put his name in there with Under the Whispering Door, but I'm definitely excited for Flashfire. That Way Madness Lies, which is edited by Dahlia Adler. It is a anthology of Shakespeare retellings. I am super curious about that one. Anthologies can be super hit or miss, so I'm a little bit hesitant about it. But I am so excited to read this. So excited. I always want more Shakespeare shit. Mother of All by Jenna Glass. This is the third and final book to the Women's War trilogy. Book 2 was amazing, so I cannot wait. I think this is also, I already have this one pre-ordered too. I love they recovered the series, and it was a big upgrade, and it looks like they genuinely thought out how, when they recovered it, how it would look across all 3 books. It's beautiful. I love it. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and read it. And another one that, it says 2021 on Goodreads, but I haven't heard anything. I think it's called A Rush of Wings by Laura Weymouth. She is the author of, oh my god, what's the proper name of it? The Light Between Worlds. Yes, the author of A Light Between Worlds and A Treason of Thorns. I will read absolutely anything she puts out. I know she has 2 books that have sold since, so I will just be eagerly awaiting, and I hope A Rush of Wings comes out in 2021. Seriously, that book still does shit to my heart, and I kind of want to reread it. I want to get hurt again. So yeah, I genuinely don't even know what the book is about. I will have it pre-ordered if it goes for sale this year. So those are my most anticipated books of 2021. Let me know what you are planning on getting or just most excited for in 2021. I have a shelf on my Goodreads that says most anticipated, and I think they're all on there, so just go to my Goodreads. So stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, Black Lives Matter. If you're in Georgia, don't forget to vote, and try and stay safe this holiday season, however you can.